Hi, so today is Monday and it is May 4th. So today is Star Wars Day because May the 4th be with you. May the Force be with you. It's supposed to be funny. We're going to talk today about composed figures. So if you had a figure, this is my best 3D drawing. Let's see if I can kind of make this look 3D. But if you had a composed drawing, it'd be hard to find the volume of this because the length, the width, and the height aren't always the same. The height here is different than this height. So you break up the shape, and you have two shapes, and you find the volume of A and the volume of B, and then you're going to add those together. So that's what we're going to talk about today. That's called composed figures. Okay, so it says find the length, the width, and the volume of each prism. So first off, if you look at this shape, it's going to be hard to find the composed volume, except you can break it up. You have A here and you have B here. So if you look, this whole thing is 6, but if this part's 2, then we know that part is 4, because 4 plus 2 is 6. So we know the height is 4, the width is going to be 2, and the length is going to be what this length was, which is 4. So it's 4 by 4 by 2. So that would be 4 by 4 is 16, 16 by 2 is 32. So you have volume is length times width times height, and you're going to get 32. Oh, geez. What did I do? You're going to get, I did it again. You're going to get 30. It's because I'm hitting that bar. I'm just going to write it over here. You're going to get 32 inches cubed. Now, if you look over here, we saw the length was 10. The width is 4. The height is 2. So 10 by 4 by 2. I know 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 10 is 80. So the combined volume would be when you add that up, and you're going to get 112 cubic inches or inches cubed. Let's try another one. Okay, so if we look at this shape, make it big. You see that this whole height is 3. And this height is 1, so we know this height is going to be 2. And if I break up the shape right here, I'm going to have this A and this B. So I know A is going to be 2, this is going to be 2, and that's 1. So 2 times 1 is going to be for A, and B is going to be 4 times 2 times 1. I know 2 times 2 is 4 times 1 is 4. I know 2 times 4 is 8 times 1 is 8. So altogether, the volume is going to be 12 inches cubed. Let's try another one. So look at this shape and think, where would you break it up? I'm going to break it up right here. So this whole part is going to be A, and this part is going to be B. Let's focus on A first. A is going to be 6. I know this length is going to be, this is 12, and that was 4. So 12 plus 4 is 16, and the height, I know is, if it's the height, it's kind of hard to see. If the height here is 2, I know that height is 2. So if I'm doing this shape, I know the height is 2. I know the width or the length, whichever one you put, is 6. And I know this right here is going to be 12 plus 4, which is 16. So 16 times 2 is 32, and 32 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So that's 192. Now I need to focus on this. This whole thing was 14. This whole thing was 14, and this was 6. So that's going to make this 8, This is 12 and this is 2. So 8 times 12 times 2. I know 8 times 12 is 96 times 2. So 96 times 2. 2 times 6 is 12. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 1 is 19. So now I'm going to have 118 plus 118. Oh my God, did I say 118? Miss McCoy is losing her mind. 192 plus 192. Let's just do that over here. Or 192 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So we're going to get 384 centimeters cubed. So it's kind of like a puzzle. You have to figure out the missing lengths and widths and heights. Let's do this one. I'm just going to break that up right here. So we'll call this one A and we'll call this one B. Let's focus on A first. I know A is 1 by 3. And now think about this. This whole height is 6. But I'm cutting the shape off here. So if this part is 1, I know that little part is 1. So this whole height is going to be 5. So 3 times 5 times 1 would be 15. Now down here, this is going to be 8. I have to figure out this part, which I know that part was 3, so this part is 3, and the height is 1. 8 times 3 times 1, 8 times 3 is 24, times 1 is 24. So 15 plus 24, 5 plus 4 is 9, 1 plus 2 is 3, 39 inches cubed. Let's do another one. So you really have to focus on where is the shape breaking up. I'm going to break this shape up here. A, B. A is going to be 12 by 4 by 6. B is going to be 8 by 4, and this height is the same as that height, which is 4. 12 times 4 is 48, so I'm going to do 48 times 6. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 4 is 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 288. 8 times 4 is 32 times 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So when I add that up, 288 plus 128. 8 plus 8 is 16. 8 plus 1 is 9, 10, 11. 1 plus 2 plus 1 would be 416 cubic feet, or feet cubed. So I think you're getting it. It really just depends on how you break it up, and you really have to pay attention. You might not know all the numbers. As a part of her class, Jules made a figure below out of pieces of wood. How much space does she take up? So same thing. I'm going to break it up here. This is 24. This is 6. I know this width right here. Well, that almost looks like a square, so I can assume it's 6. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, I cut off the picture. If you look at the picture, it's actually 9. Sorry, guys. I cut off the picture. So that one will be 24 times 6 times 9. And over here, this shape, this whole thing would be 30. And if this is 9, 30 minus 9 is 21. So this is 21 by 9, and I know the height is 6. So 6 times 9 is 54. So 54 times 24. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 would be 21. Put a 0, cross that out. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, that's that number. This one over here was 21 by 9 by 6. 6 times 9 is 54 times 21. One times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. Put a 0. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm adding 1,296 plus 1034. So 1296 plus 1034. I think I did something wrong. Okay, I had to really think about this, but I figured out what I did wrong. So I cut the shape here, but if you really look at this, or I cut the shape here, and I said this was 24, but technically it's 24 plus 9, because it has to go the whole way that way. So 24 plus 9 is 33. So this 24 should have been 33. That was my mistake. Couldn't figure out what I did wrong. It helps when I have the answers and I can see what I did wrong, but that's what sucks for you guys. You have to just figure it out. Okay. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. Put a 0, cross that out. 3 times 4 is 12. Put a 1. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. Okay, so now I'm adding 1782 plus 11. So all my numbers were wrong. I just really did bad. Okay. 1. What did I say again? 1782 and 1134. When I add that, I get 2,100, so 2,916 centimeters cubed. Now this question below, what is the volume of the composite figure? I'm going to break that one up here. So I can see this is 9 by 6 by 9. Or sorry, that 9 must be pointing to this. So it's going to be 12 by 6 by 9. You really have to look at the pictures for clues. So 12 times 6 times 9. And this shape here is going to be 27 by 12 by 6. I'm confused why that 9 is there. I don't think we need it. So that would be 27 by 12 by 6. Okay, so let's go with that. So we know 6 times 9 is 54. 54 times 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. Put a 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. So when I add that up, I get 648. 12 times 6 is 72. So 72 times 27. So 72 times 27. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 7 is 49. Plus 1 would be 50. Put a 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. So 1944 plus 648. 8 plus 4 is 12. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 6 plus 9 is 15. Carry the, oh, that would be a 2. So 2,592 feet cubed. Okay, let's move on to our, okay. It says write an expression to represent the volume of the composite figure. So you don't even have to figure it out. But if I break up the figure here, I see that this whole thing is 5. If this part is 1, this part is going to be 4, because 4 plus 1 is 5. So I'm going to have 4 times 2 times, and this height, the whole height is 3. And I know that this invisible height is 1, so this height is going to be 2. Okay, because this whole thing was 5. We know this part is 1, so this part is 4. That is 2. And if this whole height is 3 and that is 1, that's 2. Okay. Now over here, we know the height is 3, the width is 1, and then we know this part. Oh, so we need to figure out this part. And that part is 2. Okay, and when I add that up, this volume is going to be 3 times 1 times 2, which is 6. 4 times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, which would give it a volume of 22 inches cubed. Suppose you take the larger prism and stack it on top of the larger prism, what would be the volume? That's going to be super easy because I literally just have to multiply those and then add 15 times 12 times 6. I know that 6 times 12 quickly I know is 72, so 72 times 15. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 1 is 36. Put a 0, cross that out. 1 times 2 is 2. 7 times 1 is 7. When I add that up, I'm going to get 1,080. 6 times 6 is 36, but I don't want to do double digit multiplication, so I'm going to do 6 times 12 is 72, 72 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 1 is 43. So when I add that up, 0 plus 2 is 2. 8 plus 3 is 11. 0 plus 1 plus 4 is 5. 1 plus nothing is 1. So you get 1,512 inches cubed. Jesse wants to build a wooden chest with a volume of 8,100 cubic inches. The length is 30. The width is 15. How tall will it be? I know 3 times 15 really quick is 45. Add a 0. So 8,100 equals length times width times height. We know one of those is going to be 15 and one of those is 30. So we're trying to figure out the question mark. I know that together is 450. So I'm going to divide 8,100 divided by 450. Cannot go into 8, cannot go into 81, but can go under 450. I'm going to see. Well, that would be too much. So one time, when I subtract, that becomes a 0. This becomes a 7. 11 minus 5 is 6. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring down the 0. How many times can 450 go in 3,600? Let's think of this as 500. 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 3,500. I'm going to guess 7 times. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 7 times 4 is 28. 29, 30, 31. I probably can go a little higher. Let's make this 450 times 8. Same thing. 0. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus 4 would be 36. Let's see. That's what I wanted. So 8 times. So the missing height would be 18, or 18 inches, not cubed because it's only one of the pieces. What is the volume of the rectangle that is shown? same thing. You probably have sleeping thinking about this. Length times width times height. 9 times 3 times 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 9 is 54 inches cubed. If I was on iLearn, I would definitely be writing the formula out. Adrian's recipe for cranberry relish calls for 1 3/4 cups of sugar. He wants to use 1/2 of that. How much should he use? So you're dividing that in half. Or 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 would be 7. So 7/4 divided by 2. Remember, you keep, you flip, you change. You keep the first fraction, you change this. So instead of 2/1, it's going to become 1/2. So 7/4, 1/2, and you change the division to multiplication. I go do that. And you're going to get 7/8. Last question for the day. Joanna has a board that is 6 feet long. She cut it into pieces that are 1/4 foot long. Write an equation to represent the number of pieces she has. So she has 6 divided by 1/4. That's all you have to do equals the number of pieces she cut. That's all you have to write. Okay, we're done.